world changers or wannabe world changers who think they have to change a billion people, and there's the real world changers who change the world for one person.
To say rejection is not a bad thing. It's the fertilizer for your dreams to grow in.
You know, but if I quit, then I've lied to them and I've lied to myself.
Self-confidence really does come from keeping your word to yourself. Every time that you keep your word to yourself on what you said you were going to do, you build a little bit of self-confidence, right?
I'm David Specht, and this is Keep This in Mind.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the webinar. Hello, Omar. I'd like to introduce my friend Omar Medrano, author of two Amazon best-selling books, the What If It Did Work and The Vacation CEO.
Well, that intro, that and $2.50 will get me a copy of the USA Today, man. Thank
Oh, Lord. Does anybody even read that anymore? That's the question.
you.
I read it on my iPad.
You're gonna laugh, but growing up, like it was the newspaper. I would always read it at LSU, like during class, because it was always those huge 1,000 people classes, and the professor wouldn't notice.
Right.
But my goal was always to have like a subscription delivered and whatnot. But I never, for some odd reason, really, I think it's just one of those newspapers that when you're flying somewhere,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
at the airport.
What was funny is when I was stationed in Maine in the Air Force, I'm in the newspaper business. My dad got me a subscription, but it took it 2 days to get there. So I used to call it USA Yesterday.
Well, that and it was like it should have been on The Biggest Loser, because it used to be a lot thicker, and then now it's like before it was like 50 cents, then
Yeah.
75 cents, but it was huge.
Yeah,
Now it's
every
like
time the price went up,
$2.50.
the size went down.
Yeah, and the size went down. It's like, but there's nothing, I love the sports section, and I like the entertainment section
Absolutely.
and the money. But yeah, no, it was good. I always thought it was ahead of its time. I remember
It
they would always
was.
have copies.
I
at
remember reading
Walmart.
Confessions of an SOB by Al Newhart, who started USA Today, and I always wanted to be like him until I realized how he really was like, and it was like, okay, no, maybe that isn't my cup of tea. So, by the way, everybody, welcome. I know we were kind of reminiscing a little bit with you guys, but I want to share with you tonight. It's everywhere I've been, in every industry I've been in, whether it's newspaper, network marketing, leadership development, franchises, retail, there's always this newfound sense of a new start in the month of September. It's like you're not quite to the fourth quarter of the year, but yet at the same time, the kids are going back to school, routines seem to be coming back. And what I have found, and Omar, I want to kind of get your feeling on that because you kind of have a little bit of a different background than I do, but that September timeframe is usually a really good springboard into some great goal meeting. And for me, at least, I've seen it, whether, again, personal development, we always say January is the time for personal development, but I've seen more movement, especially in the health coaching business and the personal development space, in that getting back to routine of September. Have you seen that similarly in your industries?
Well, I always liked September because, like, the health industry, I always needed, because I always go up and down in weight. I'm like Garth Brooks, either a size 33, 36, or 38 in jeans. And it always was at that point where I'm like, if I want to look good up in Lake Tahoe, or Vail or whatever, it was always that, like, I've got my 100 days. I've got my 100 days to improve. And, why not start in September? Everything starts in September. College football starts in September, new semester, new beginnings. Kids are off to school. It's not as brutally hot throughout this whole country in September as it is in August and July. So we can't even use that because, everybody can use it's too hot. It's too hot. Like there's no gyms out there that
Yeah,
have
they're not air conditioned, I'm sure, right?
and you can't go on a treadmill and walk on.
There's no seminars in the summertime either to help you with your personal development, right?
Exactly.
No cruises or anything.
No, definitely not. So, but to me, I always liked September, but to me, I've always started on any day that started and ended in a Y. It wasn't like I'm like, oh my gosh, September 1st. I always liken it to like we're on Gilligan's Island or we're on Lost or somewhere where you don't have a friggin' calendar.
Right.
We don't really know it's September 1st. I mean, you live in Tennessee, still a little, it's still hot. It's still hot in Florida. So, I mean, how do we know it's not June? I mean, just start. The only reason why we know it's fall really is, kids are back at school.
Yep.
So we can't use that as an excuse.
And I would say too, use it. What is it they say? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. And I think, the purpose of the webinar this evening is to give you practical steps, things you can do to get your mind right, to get your goal setting right, to really do some things to help you reach those goals. I mean, I don't know about you, Omar, but there's goals I set back in January that I'm nowhere near close to achieving, and here we are, the end of August. So for me, the idea of a reset, like saying, hey, this, you and I kind of joke about it, but September is the new January. The reset aspect of it really is again, you're right. The date on the calendar shouldn't matter, but since there is a date on the calendar, what can we do to help people get to where they want to go?
Well,
Slide deck, so I'm going to show it.
Oh, go ahead.
All good.
Good thing you can edit that.
Yeah, yeah. So keep going.
Okay, one of the things that I realize is people are just overwhelmed, man. They want to go from zero to hero overnight. They want to go from like 60, 70 pounds of being overweight and not working out to all of a sudden being like, the Iron Man, the
Right.
running marathons. I mean, you get overwhelmed if all of a sudden you go from not eating clean, you're eating a pizza, a full large twice a week, you're drinking a six pack, to all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to get a six pack. No, man. I mean, to me, don't focus on 2020. You don't want to focus on who you want to be 2026, December 31st. That's a long time away. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. What you need to focus on is winning today and deciding who you want to be today in order, just baby steps. Let's
Yeah.
just win today. Let's win September 1st.
Absolutely. And I would say too, as we are, this is more than just personal, right? It's business, it's life, it's whatever that thing is that you're trying to accomplish. Let's face facts. Not every part of our success is it's our responsibility, and we can't like hang our success or our goals on anybody else. But if you're leading a team, if you have to collaborate with others, can I tell you that checkout season has just passed us? Now it's check-in season. And here's the opportunity, not only for you in your personal development, your health development, but also in your business, in the things that you want to accomplish. I see this all the time. As people come back together, good leaders and great leaders, they recognize it and they say, okay, how can I help these people lean into this reset? And I believe one of the very first things people need to do, and I know you're cut from this cloth, is leaning into your own personal development, leaning into that thing that improves you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to fill yourself up with the information, with the actions, the activities that really help you become a better you. Wouldn't you agree and add to that?
Well, yeah, it has to start from within. You have to have a base. It's the foundation. You have to do the personal development. A lot of these gurus, oh, you don't need personal development. If you feel like you're not worthy, you don't deserve it, then you're not going to be a winner. You're always going to run into this pattern of self-destructive behavior and patterns and habits. So the personal development, you have to win that mindset every single day, because
Mhm.
whenever God, the universe, whenever it's not your day to win, you know what? You're gonna have to pivot. You're gonna have that little voice inside your head's gonna be like, you see, it's not for you. Your genetics are against you, or it's Mercury over retrograde, or everybody's conspiring. Let's play victim mode. Because the hardest thing to do is to look in the mirror and go, yeah, it's me.
Yeah. One of the things that you said, and I want people to get this and put action to it, and that is this: don't try to eat the entire elephant between now and January. Don't look at the January completion or the December 31st completion. Today, and this gets into action steps, and we're going to give you several action steps throughout the course of this webinar, but one action step is pick one thing to improve starting today. Whether it's your mindset, whether it's your skills, whether it's a habit you're trying to build, pick one thing. For me, I started this a couple months ago. If you follow me on social, you've seen me do it. The walking the neighborhood thing. Is it a huge thing? No, but consistency compounds. Each day that I walk is another win in the win column. It's another check in the win column. I keep the promise. I kept the promise to myself. And oh, by the way, my health is gradually improving because guess what? I'm not nearly as winded as I was the first day I went for that walk. So begin to pick one thing that you can improve on.
Well, and energy,
Mm,
action. And every time I've ever felt down, I've always gone out for a walk.
mm.
Even if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling anxious, you feel bad, because you got dumped. I don't care if it's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock. Best thing to clear up. And this is coming from a runner. Do I wish I could run? I wish, yes, but I have a torn ACL, so I go out and walk. And that's, when people are like, where do I get all the creativity for a reel, or for a blog, or for my books? A lot of times it's just going out for just a walk to clear out my head. And sometimes funny stuff pops in my head too, which does make it to a reel, or you know
Yeah,
it serves, it makes things better. Bottom line, man, whatever you're feeling, nobody ever comes back from a walk and go, you know what, I regret doing that.
you're right. In fact, most of my reels are done during my walks, and part of it, let's be transparent. Part of it is so I'll forget that I'm walking. It's like, oh, I'll talk to it, then I'll post it, and then, it keeps my mind occupied. But I wish I could remember the name. There's a doctor that you and I follow on Instagram, and he says exercise is not for your body, it's for your mental state. That the active movement helps you deal with stress, anxiety, and all those things. And it's absolutely right. I figure out more solutions when I'm in an active mode, walking or whatever. If I were to just sit here and mull the problem over and over again, it would just be an exercise in frustration. So the idea of leaning into your personal health and movement is a mental health and personal development activity.
And you're burning calories. If you want to look great, amazing for Christmas, for the New Year's Eve party, you're literally burning calories. You're literally, not only are you're getting your creative juices flowing, but you're burning calories and you're creating an amazing habit. Once you realize any type of movement, any type of exercise is pushing you towards that person you were always meant to be.
Yeah, and as we look at this, and you're like, well, how long, David? How long, Omar? What? Is this a forever thing? My thing is start today. Let's work on today. Here's what I know. There'll be just over 90 days. Well, actually, quite a few over 90 days from September 1st to the end of the year. But we all know the holidays kick in, and then the whole BS of checking out comes into play. But you can do, and I can do anything with consistency for 90 days. I'm not talking about building a habit. I mean, just saying, you know what, for the next 90 days, I'm going to sprint in this direction. I'm going to lean into my personal development. I'm going to lead my team well, and I'm going to help them reach that goal because we can do just about anything in a 90-day sprint. And as leaders, and again, I love saying you know if your kids are watching you, if the neighbor's watching you, you know if anybody's watching you, you're a leader. So as leaders, we can set a great example of what a 90-day sprint looks like.
Yeah, and quit being in your head, because at times I would have people looking at me when I was walking around outside the gym or walking around my neighborhood. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want them to think I'm crazy because I'm speaking into my phone. I'm doing a video." I mean, at the end of the day, what's it to them? I might be the hashtag influencer. I might be the YouTube
Yeah.
social media star. If you really want to know, just come up and ask me. But no, be confident enough, anyways, because you should always practice doing reels because we're always selling something. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a solopreneur, if you're in sales, do it.
Yeah.
Do a Facebook Live. Go outside your comfort zone. The problem is everybody always has this fear of looking bad. Even if you bomb, nobody will remember. Everybody's too busy into their own stuff
Yeah. They're
to
not
even
thinking about you,
remember.
they're thinking about themselves. And
Always.
if you're in a leadership position, this is the perfect opportunity to really look at the goals you and your team had set before the year started. And if you're off track, here's your opportunity to recast the vision, set the pace, the 90-day sprint, and then celebrate small wins along the way. The, Everything rises and falls in leadership. That's one of John Maxwell's sayings. But the truth of the matter is we as leaders set the tone. And if we are drag butting our way to the end of the year, everybody else is going to drag butt their way to the end of the year. But if we're going to sprint, then sprint. Do the work that looks like a sprint because they are watching and they are wondering if you're going to burn out or if you're going to flame out. The truth of the matter is, if you can get your mind wrapped around 90 days and doing it consistently for 90 days, you'll be amazed at the number of people that follow you.
Well, because leaders, they lead. They're always in front of the pack. They're always the trendsetters. They're not the ones worried about what other people think. Whatever CEO, whatever business leader, choose them. Whether it's, Steve Jobs or he's no longer with us, but Howard Schultz.
Yeah.
Do you think Howard Schultz was sitting there wondering, "Oh my gosh, I've been rejected"? I see all these memes. He was rejected over 200 and something times for a business loan for Starbucks. I doubt very seriously after the third, fourth, fifth, sixth rejection, he was like, "Oh my gosh, what are the neighbors going to think? What are they going to think now? He's a friggin' billionaire. He owned an NBA team. He had
Yeah.
to come out of retirement twice. Thought about running for president. Somebody like that isn't worried about what the Joneses think, man. And that's the one thing. Quit worrying about what other people do and lead.
Yes.
Just decide and commit to something.
Yes. And, I think about a lot of the successful people out there and how they didn't put like you said, they may have fallen on their face 100 times, but that didn't change the goal. They had to pivot. They had to redirect. They had, for crying out loud, Jobs got fired from the company he founded.
Exactly.
But
Or think about the House of Mouse. Walt
Yeah.
Disney, when he first was thinking, and when in his head, he's like Disneyland.
yeah,
Well, Anaheim was in the middle. It was like 20 miles outside of LA. Now it's just one big, it's a
Yeah.
continuation. But people laughed at him. Bob Hope laughed at him. He couldn't get anybody to believe in his vision to invest. All those people, yeah, they were wealthy, but they could have been uber wealthy if they would have believed in his vision, and it didn't stop them.
right.
And that's what you have to have, that relentless. The more times you hear no, you have to have that mindset that you're closer to that yes.
Absolutely. And as leaders, business people, you can change the activity, but you never should change the goal. Because things happen. We didn't expect a virus to sweep the nation in 2020. We all had 2020 goals that kind of went off the rails. I remember, and here I go telling stories, but that's what I do. I remember going around the state of Louisiana as the president of the Louisiana Press Association in 2005, I think it was. All summer long, visiting with publishers. Hey, how can we meet your needs? What are your gripes? What are your complaints? What can we do to help you? I did it all the way up until early August. And then Katrina hit. And all those wants and needs and gripes and complaints all went by the wayside. The goal didn't change. I wanted to serve the newspapers of the state. But how we met that goal changed because the circumstances changed. And I think for a lot of us, that's the way it's got to be. We've got to think ourselves as a GPS. The destination doesn't ever change, but maybe that we have to reroute here and there to where we're still getting where we want to go. We just might have to get there a different way.
Exactly. And it's anywhere. Okay, you're flying cross country, New York to Las Vegas, New York to LA. The pilot has to pivot if there's horrible weather or turbulence, whatnot. It's not a direct shot. I mean, yeah, that's why the pilot has to take over, automatic pilot, because it can go off in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Wrong direction flying can be a couple hundred miles. But
Yes.
you have to bring it in. And okay, it's like if you wanted to drive, you're going from the Murph to Gainesville to the swamp, and I wanted to meet you there. Well, I-75 could be shut down, or there could be an accident. Well, you're gonna have to pivot.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you quit. That doesn't mean like, well, okay, well, Dave, we can't make it in Gainesville. No, all you have to do is, you find a different route. Will it take longer? Yeah, but you know what? Life isn't fair. Just enjoy the longer route. Take in Ocala or wherever you're stuck in.
So we know we have to pivot. We know goals are attainable. So how do we get there? Okay, I haven't arrived where I want to arrive that I set in January. It's September 1st. Excuse me. Here's what I see happening. And I'm a big believer in the reverse engineering. You put out what you want here and what are the steps now that I have to take over the next 90 days to get there. And then you break it down. I taught this lesson, I think, last week in our community. You break it down into things that you can bite off. You start off with the 90-day goal. Then you break it down into monthly. What do I have to have done by month 1, by month 2, by month 3 to reach that 90-day goal? Then you say, okay, what do we do? What are our weekly wins? What are those things that says, man, we are on track? And when we hit those wins, we need to celebrate them as very best as we can. I don't care if you're just throwing your hands up and hoping that the camera catches the little emojis or whatever, but take that pause to celebrate and then take it back one more step, eating the elephant one bite at a time, and say, what are my daily actions? What do I have to do today that's going to get me to that weekly win? And then by compounding that, it's going to get me to the monthly win, and then it's going to get me to my 90-day goal. Remember, a GPS knows the turns. It may have to reroute during the journey, but it already knows the turns before you ever start. That's the whole point of having a GPS.
And the best thing about compounding is it's not just with your 401k and all your investments with dividends, confidence. You keep on stacking win after win after win, you become more confident.
Yes.
You breathe a little different. You speak a little different. You walk a little different. You grow an inch. Or you feel like you have, because you're not slumped over, because you feel like no matter what, you're going to win. You're going to accomplish your short-term goal. You're going to accomplish anything. You're going to feel unstoppable. I mean, that's what separates The greats had so much confidence. I mean, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, he didn't give himself that nickname. He became the great one, winning all those Stanley Cups and all those scoring titles. Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, they were just confident in themselves from winning so much that they knew no matter what, they could have been down, but they knew they could turn it up and win. And that's what it doesn't start. You don't go from, oh my gosh, I'm 50 pounds overweight, I'm $100,000 in debt, to all of a sudden you're going to be Mr. Olympia, and that you're going to be Mr. Ramsey discussing, ways to get out of debt. It doesn't work that way. You have to start small. You have to start winning. You can't have like a Santa Claus list of things that you're going to do right now, and then say, well, I'm going to get rid of all my bad vices. Because what's going to happen is all that information overload, you're going to be like, you might start. It's like trying to run a full marathon and you're not Ethiopian or you're not Kenyan, and you go out too fast, half a mile in. Well, there's 25 and a half more miles. You're stuck. You're going to say, I quit because I can't go on. So yeah, have that big, audacious, bold, scary goal and picture who that person is. But just start winning small. Keep on stacking those small wins after small wins, and before you know it, you can take huge steps.
Absolutely. And the framework that we lined out, the 90, the 30, the 7, the 1, this works in any area of life and business, okay? You can set any kind of 90-day goal and break it down like we have said. But here's what you can't do. You can't do it all alone. It's way too difficult. We lack motivation over time. We lack discipline over time. It's very, very rare that one person can make something happen all by themselves. It is the power of coaching and the power of community that helps you reach those things that you're trying to attain. I mean, I had a health coach that helped me lose 300 pounds. Helped me lose 100 pounds. I had I had a community that supported me in that process. And even in what we do, we see in our community, Elevate Success Path, how everybody supports one another and they all contribute. And what I see is two things. Number one, the highly motivated individual oftentimes doesn't take the stop to celebrate, and they'll hit burnout and then just quit altogether. The non-motivated person just quits before they get started, and they need that little nudge, that push, that feedback to help keep them going. I told one of my clients just the other day, he's looking for a new job, and I was like, remember that you're a catch. Don't just because this job isn't working out the way you had planned doesn't mean that you're a flawed, damaged individual. You are a catch, and you need to enter the workforce as such. They need to hear those things, and those are the things that you a lot of times don't tell yourself. And for me and Omar, I won't speak for him. I'll let him speak for himself. But that's the thing probably that brings me the most joy in what I do, is when I can help somebody see things in themselves that they didn't see before, or help them celebrate an accomplishment that they just kind of glossed over because they hadn't reached the big goal yet.
Once you have that confidence in you, it's like that guy that it's because your limiting beliefs, that little voice inside your head, oh, I'm too old, nobody's gonna hire me, who am I? It's the same thing. It can be on personal. I get it, being divorced in my 50s. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna grow. We always tend to focus on the worst case scenario. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be all alone. You're never gonna be alone. You've got God, you got Jesus, you got yourself, you got the person you grew up with. Sometimes, you have to be by yourself better than having horrible company. And when it comes to a job, do you want to have, you don't want to work for Mick Jagger and have a boss that's, under his thumb, like the song. But that's what happens, man. You're like, oh my gosh, they'll hire me. They'll hire you. Anybody could get a job. We can all go become Target greeters or the assistant manager at the Waffle House. But have such a high standard for yourself that you
Mm,
that you know that you want Elon Musk to call you up one day to become an advisor. Have that confidence.
mm,
But we've all been fired. We've all been laid off. We've all had a bad quarter. We've all had a bad year if you're an entrepreneur. But you
absolutely.
you you have to believe that if you keep on doing the right thing, that you're going to kill it. And don't lower your standards in anything.
Mm, mm. Preach, brother, preach. For the ones in the back. The truth of the matter is, you're right. I mean, our limiting beliefs, our imposter syndrome is what's holding us back. And sometimes you need to have somebody believe in you before you can believe in yourself. And I believe that's what a good coach does. They see the potential in you. They see that they see more in you than maybe you've seen in yourself, as my stupid camera goes a little wonky, but a good coach will do that. And what I've seen in our community, and again, yes, is it a pitch for the community? Yeah. I mean, you're on a free webinar. You know there's a pitch coming. That's the nature of the beast. But what I'll tell you is when you're in the right place with the right people, it changes everything. Not only do you come together with other people that are trying to strive and do what you do, but sometimes you come together with referral resources, people who have chewed the same dirt that you've chewed, who maybe can provide a service or an insight that you didn't have. It's not about the two talking heads that are doing that are leading the thing. It's the whole package. And if you're not in an area, if you're not in something that gives you that whole package, you're missing out. Because I'm going to tell you, I've learned as much from the people in our Elevate community as they have learned from me. I've been motivated by the people in our Elevate community as much as I've been the one to try to motivate them. I've celebrated with them and they have celebrated with me. And that sometimes is the one thing that I need to keep going. And so, Omar, there's hardly a day that goes by that you're not putting something inspirational to our community that everybody's like, that's what I needed to hear today.
Hey, I get it. I've been in both aspects. As an entrepreneur, as working for someone else, working for sales. We all need that. We all need someone just to say, "Hey, you're doing a good job."
Yeah.
And you and I, we're not gurus. We're not here. I'm not here to promise you give me 100K and I'm going to change your world overnight.
No.
Now it'll change my world if you gave me that. But that's how a guru operates. I
Yeah.
mean, the people that you think you love and you admire, they're just flawed just as you. That's an
Yes.
actor. Well, that's not. And I've literally worked for gurus, and I paid so much money for gurus that when you behind the curtain, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even want this guy as my friend, and I'm paying him all this money.
Well, and I'll tell you, everybody that's watching tonight, I'll tell you this: we will do everything we can to not be that to you. We we listen. We get involved one on one. We are available via messenger and text. You don't have to go through a switchboard or a salesman just to get the ear of the person leading this thing. Because here's what we know: success breeds success, and if we help enough people become successful, we don't have to worry about our own personal success. We don't have to screw anybody over or charge an exorbitant amount of money to make it. Obviously, time is worth something, and we have to, make it worth our time. But at the end of the day, our job is to help those people elevate their success, become the people that they want to become, whether they're a solopreneur, they lead a team, or they're network marketing, they're a real estate agent. It doesn't matter. We all have a desire for more, a desire to be successful. And our job is to help show you the way and cheer you on the way.
and show you the way, the actual way. Do you want to get published? Both of us have done that. You want a podcast? Both of us. TED Talk, TEDx Talk, been there, done that. It's not like we're going to be vague.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times those people, I'll call you a John because it's like a call girl. Once that money runs out, that guru's done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got your selfie with them, you got the autograph book, but once you stop paying, and the best part is they're never gonna really give you the answer. It's a vague thing. And then they're like, Dave and I are not gonna be like, okay, you paid us, but if you want the real answer, you're gonna have to pay for the more expensive package. You're gonna have to pay for the seminar. And then we bamboozle you into that seminar, and everybody's like, okay, we want the answers. We'll be as vague as possible because you know what? The real answers, you're not. This is going to cure ED. This is going to make you a billionaire. What you need to do is you need to level up, and we're only going to do this one time for the low price of $10,000. You can join us. And we will make you famous.
We just lost half our viewers. We just lost half our viewers. You said $10,000, and we just lost half our viewers.
Yeah, but if they've been to any,
oh, I know it's that way, and the pressure, like the whole,
and the emotional self.
Yeah, that I call
emotional self.
I call it the altar call close. Hey, let me see the hands of everybody that's going to participate. No, I see that hand. I see that hand, and it's like it's garbage, and we don't do that now. We will make you uncomfortable when we ask you questions like, well, did you do what we talked about on our last call? What was the result of that? Well, I didn't have a chance. Okay, until you do this, we can't do the next thing. You've got to do the one thing first. Or hey, have you sent me your financials so I can look them over and see where the gaps are? Well, that's where we make you uncomfortable. You know why? Because that lack of comfort makes you a better business person. It makes you a better human being. It doesn't separate you and your money. It actually brings more money to your pockets because we have you doing something that's required to be successful in business.
Well, you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
The thing is people love to lie, not only to themselves, but they're like, oh yeah, I've been going to see my therapist for 8 years. Well, you're still a screw up. What's going on? Oh, I lied to them. I don't want them to know what I'm really doing. Well, exactly. You have to be honest with yourself. Once you're honest with yourself, once you're honest and saying, yes, I'm at C, but I want to get to D, E, F. Well, I mean, we can help you get there, but you have to just say, hey, I need to, because a want and a need are two different things. Yeah, we all want, Dave and I work out all the time. We can say we want washboard, we want the 6-pack abs. We might want them, but clearly we don't need them. Because if we needed them, we would have them.
Absolutely. And so with that, as I get into the pitch, and guys, look, you can log off if you want. I mean, or ask questions in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. But as we get into the pitch, there's one thing that we've seen that people there's a resistance to taking action. There's a resistance. There's a fear of I'm going to waste my money. There's a fear of I'm not going to be delivered on what they're promising. I'm on this webinar because I know them, or I answered an ad or whatever. But the truth of the matter is we're going to lower that bar of resistance by giving it to you for free. Like not Alex Hormozy free, where it's not Dave Ramsey free or Tony Robbins free or Grant Cardone free, where you're like, oh, here's this little bit, and now here's where the real answer is. As you said, we're going to give you a full month of coaching and training and community. We're going to put you in our private Facebook group community. We're going to let you schedule a one-on-one coaching session, and you're going to get all this for a month for absolutely nothing. Zilch. And then if you want to continue on, that's a whole different, $199 a month. But to get your feet wet, to see if we can deliver on what we say we are, and to get you a good 30-day start in your 90-day sprint, We want to be here for you. And so I'm going to share my screen again because, again, I made nifty slides and I like having nifty slides.
Well, I love them, man, because when it comes to technology, I just mastered the abacus.
They don't even know what an abacus is. Good Lord. I forget what reference I made the other day. My son said, who? Anyway, so here's the deal. What you're looking at is the landing page for Elevate Success Path. ElevateSuccessPath.com. We'll put it in the chat. We'll put it wherever we need to go. But here's the thing. If you want the free month of Elevate Success Path, which includes the community, the weekly coaching that I do, the daily, almost daily inspiration that Omar does, the one-on-one coaching that you can schedule with either one of us, put in Reset 2025 in the coupon code. You'll be taken to a Stripe page. Again, we're not a big corporation with all these landing pages and different funnels and all that. This is simply, look, you're gonna click on it. It's gonna take you to our Stripe checkout. You're gonna check out, and then you'll start getting the onboarding emails and be immediately a part of our community. I do a live every Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central. I do teaching for 15 minutes because let's face it, guys, we have short attention spans. And I know that you probably can't stare at a talking head more than 15 minutes. You've probably done the max you can do just being on the webinar tonight. So you get that every week. You get the celebrations that we support. You get to post in the community. You get to get feedback from all of us, plus the one-on-one coaching. Can I tell you, this will be your best opportunity to sprint for the next 90 days. And oh, by the way, if you start in August, you'll already be on your way before September 1 ever gets here. And you're going to have a head start on the rest of the knuckleheads that are, oh, sorry, you're not a knucklehead. For the rest of the people that are starting on their resets. So my encouragement to you is really consider it. Go to elevatesuccesspath.com. Again, I'll put the link in the chat and just check it out. Decide if this is what you want to do, and then use that code RESET 2025 to really finish out, excuse me, get the head start on finishing the year strong.
You know, the best way to do it is to believe in yourself, to say, hey, you know what? I am worthy. I am a rock star. Yeah, I have a past, or I might have failed 20, 21, 22 times. It's never failing. Those are just called life lessons. That sometimes lessons cost money, sometimes time, sometimes both. But that doesn't mean your past is who you're going to be. So why not? And a month for free, and we're not going to bamboozle you. I mean, trust me, I've done the free with every guru. That free can cost a lot of money in the long run.
Yeah, we're not promising it, and we're not doing a special, 4-part series that's, the 90-day sprint. This is what you get, and then you get to be a part of what all of our paying members are being a part of for a full month.
And we're not doing it's free, but if you want a copy of Dave, it's not a funnel. It's not, if you want a copy of Dave's book autographed, it's $20. If you want a Facebook live with FaceTime with both of us, it's an extra $50. It's nothing like that. And at the end, we can all have a barbecue. The last price is $1,000 one-day coaching session and barbecue at Dave's house and at the Murph.
Trust me, I would not mind having a barbecue at the Murph, but at the same time, I think here's what I do know. And I want to wrap it up. I want to be real cognizant of everybody's time. I know we're running up on 45 minutes here. The bigger the group gets, the more we lean upon one another and the more valuable the group gets. If it was just 3 people in there, I joined and there's only Dave, Omar, and some random guy from Ohio. No, that's not what this is about. This is about building a community of mutual respect, mutual support. We bring in the life lesson tools. You come together and you take the action to move your life and your business forward to where you want it to go, not where I want it to go, where you want it to go. Our job here is to help you go where you want to go, even if you can't believe right now that you can get.
All it takes is belief, man. I mean, we believe in so much. I mean, we're both people of faith, so we are believers. But I mean, some of you believe in the government for the people, by the people. And you know what? You can believe we have all these different beliefs, but why can't we believe in ourselves for 5 years? You believed in Santa Claus for like 6 and 7 years, man. What's 5 minutes?
There you
What's
go.
5 days, man? All it takes is a decision to say yes. Yes, I am. And it's no, I must do this to be. You are already a rock star. You are already bound for success. You're a miracle. You're here. You're alive. You're healthy. You have well, hopefully you have sound mind. You have sound mind to decide, hey, what's 1 month going to do? And it's gratis, free.
So again, go to elevatesuccesspath.com. Again, the keyword is reset 2025. Get that free month. Omar, thank you again for being on the webinar tonight. Guys, thank you for being on the webinar tonight. And let's do the big reset together, guys. Let's see where the rest of 2025 can take us, okay?
Well, it's like what Phil Knight says, just do it.
And on that note, God bless. Thanks for keeping this in mind today. If something landed, share this with someone who needs it. And if you haven't already, follow the show wherever you listen to podcasts. Connect with me at davidaspeck.com, and I'll see you next time. God bless.